Hello guys, the second section for domain 1 chapter 1 is IAAA, that is stands for identification, authentication, authorization and accounting. So identification process must be in company to start authentication, authorization and accountability. So there must be a process in a company. What kind of process? The AAA, that is also called as AAA, and we called it authentication, authorization and accounting. So authentication is not something new here. Let's understand there is a server here, and server will authenticate user 1, user 2, user 3. So when user 1 want to log in, okay, user PC1 want to log in to the server, so he will add his username and password. Username and password he will add, that will generate a ticket. That ticket will go to the server. Server will verify that he do have that username and password, okay, then he will go back and let the PC1 to access it. So that process is called as authentication. Whereas for example, like here PC3 is adding a username and a password, it will generate a ticket and will go to the server, and server will not find any username or will not find the exact password with this username, so he will not authenticate it. He will go back and deny the user to log in. So that process is called as authentication, and most commonly a way to use authentication, we use a password for that, username and password. But there are multiple ways to authenticate. For example, there is a iris scan, fingerprints is there, biometrics devices are there for authentication, but what the most common is? Most common is the password. Next thing guys is authorizations. Okay, authorization is what? Let's understand once again. There is a server here, okay, user 1 is accessing the server, so as the user 2, so as the user 3. User 1 can simply view the files and folder, user 2 can create the file and folder, and user 3 can delete the username, create the username. He can do little more administrative work here. So this is kind of a authorization privilege, that what limitation user 1 have, user 2 have more, and user 3 have all the authorizations. So authorization is important. It is like you are authenticating people, what level that they can do or they cannot do. So by looking to the user behavior or by their working profile, you have to give authorizations to them. So what is authorization? Admin and user privilege. A user may be able to read file but not delete it. So this user do have only reading authorizations. Print a document but not alter the print queue. Okay, so he cannot if somebody is printing, so after that only he can, and log on to a system but cannot change the password. So user 1, for example, he can log on but he cannot change his own password, but wherever user 3, I have authorized him to change the password. So that is called authorization. The third one is auditing. Auditing is nothing but having a track records of it. That is a server. User 1 log in to the server morning 9 a.m. on 1 April 2018. He log in 7 p.m. 2 April 2018, and he log in. So the one who log in the morning, he is having some authorization. Suppose he deletes something or he make any changes in his PC or in the server. So who did what? We do have a records of it, recording a log of the event and activity related to the system and subject. So whatever this user did, user 1, we have an entire log of it, so as user 2, so as user 3, so as the server. So that process is called auditing. Auditing is reviewing the log files. So log file is the one here. So guys, this is all about identification, authentication, authorization and accounting. Thank you very much.